Yo, what's up, guys? So today I just want to make a video on why working in a high cost of living area is actually beneficial and can actually help you for wealth. So when you live in a high when you work in a high cost of living area, right? Most of the time that area is high cost of living because number one, there's a big population. There's probably tons of grocery stores. There's tons of events, nightlife. There's tons of there's tons of things that people can do to keep them active, and there's tons of businesses there. There's probably tons of grocery stores, hospitals, all kind of things there, right? So when you work in that kind of environment, it's going to be chaotic. There's going to be a lot of traffic. There's going to be a lot of people coming to that area. Maybe usually it's downtown. A lot of people want to park down there, drive their cars down there. There's going to be tons of traffic. A lot of things are happening, so it's very chaotic. But you have to understand that when you're working over there, it's actually beneficial for you in terms of gaining wealth, because when you work in a chaotic environment, or you live in a chaotic environment, you have to know that every decision you make is very important, because if you make the wrong decision, well, that can ruin your entire day, right? If you park at the wrong street, you can get a very big parking ticket. If you take the wrong train home, you're now delayed to get home for like 3 4 hours. So you have to understand that your decision making has to be very on point when you're going to these different type of areas. So the benefits of that is, now when you go to your business, you're going to be making the correct decisions, and you're going to understand how to work in peace. So when you're in your business or whatever you're doing, and you have customer returns, you have customer complaints, you have customers not wanting the product anymore, you have your payment processing not working. So let's say you do a big product launch, you're expected to make $20,000, $30,000 that day. Well, your payment processing didn't work that day. So all of the orders are now backlogged and they can't go through. So how are you going to be able to cope with that? You have to learn how to cope with that, and that's why the high cost of living environment, where you're either working or you're living, is going to help you into coping with that. So how can you cope with something like that happening, customer complaints, all that stuff? Well, you're going to learn the correct things to do over time. You're going to learn peace, you're going to learn patience, and you're going to learn how you can overcome those challenges. So how you can easily overcome those challenges with customer complaints, client complaints, and payment processing not working is you find a mentor. That's something that you might do in a high cost of living area. If you're working there, you're living there, you might find people that can help you, and you're going to use those same tactics and you're going to bring it to a business. You might find that you might need a mentor to guide you through the city. You might need a mentor to help you find, remote clients in the city, or help you find different clients in the city where it doesn't even have to be remote. You might need a mentor to help you build higher income skills so you can make the better use of it in the high cost of living area in the city. And then now, guess what you're going to do when it comes to business? You're going to find a mentor who can help you and guide you through the customer complaints and the payment processing errors, and you're going to stay calm through the whole entire time. So that's why it's very important to live in a or work or live in a high cost of living area for wealth. Another thing is that you can now make the best use of the city dollars. So if you can earn those, you know, that money in the city, which is going to be way more than your local area, you can now take that money from the city and bring it back to your local area. So let's say you don't live in the city, right? Let's say you want to save up money and then you want to move out locally. Well, that money is going to have way more of a benefit. You're gonna that money's gonna make more use in the local area that you're earning from the city, because maybe the money that you could have got from your job in the local area was not anything compared to the city. Well, now when you're taking all that money from the city and you're bringing it locally, you can now probably buy a house. You can buy two cars instead of one. Maybe you can go and start, even open up a small in-person business. So there's so many different things you can do with that money from the city and bring it locally into your area. There's just too many benefits. So you have to understand that that is one of the most important things. Also, finding clients. There's so many people in the high cost of living area that need problem solved. That is the hub. That is where everyone is, right? There's tons of side jobs you can do. There's so many, all the Uber Eats, all the DoorDash, all the Skip the Dishes, everything like that in the high cost of living area. That is where you can make the most money for those kind of jobs too as well, because everybody is working, in businesses, there's way more of a population. People want food delivered to them. So you can go ahead and do tons of side jobs in a high cost of living area. So there's too many benefits, guys, of living or working in a high cost of living area for wealth. And then after that, if you decide to, you can take that money and go locally. You can move 2-3 hours away with all the money saved up. So if you're right now, if you're looking at it and you might not be earning a lot of money, or maybe you don't have a lot of money saved up, start thinking about finding a job downtown. Start thinking about finding a job in a high cost of living area, because you might get paid more for it. And on top of that, you can figure out a way how you can save up the income to then bring it back to your local area. So try that, guys. High cost of living area. Create a side job. Make the best use of the skills that you can earn, or the skills that you can learn and make use of in a high cost of living area. Find clients in a high cost of living area. Attend networking events. Just make the most use and earn the city dollars so you can bring back locally in a high cost of living area, because it's going to help you on your journey to wealth, guys. So if you like this video, subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.